Now in this tutorial we're going to talk about resizing patterns. I have 3 different patterns here on my screen. Now the one that is highlighted is always the one that is dark, so that would be this one. And this is the one that the action will be happening to, and that's true for any function. Right up here is the resize button. You can see the resize pattern will hover over there when you hold your mouse over the top of it. Now you have 3 methods of resizing. You have the mouse, the sew head, and the keypad. So we're going to go through each one. This time I'm going to say the mouse. So what I do to resize is I click with the left button, and that is the starting point, and then I move out from there, and I can make it bigger or smaller. Now you notice right here it says maintain ratio. It will stay the same ratio no matter what size I make it unless I take that off. If I unclick that, then I can make it long and skinny, short and fat, whatever ratio I want. And the starting point of this square is right here, and then it will grow out from that point. So whatever pattern you have selected, you say, imagine it was in a box where the upper left corner of that box would be. It's not the upper left point on the pattern, which would be where my mouse is now. It's if it was in a box, so it's from that point out. Okay, so I'm going to say reset, and now we're going to choose resize with the sew head. So now you can see the sew head move around, and this is a very handy way to resize your pattern into a certain area. So I would put the sew head, the needle, which is represented by this little red cross, I would put that at the corner of the box, and I would say start point. You can see that the pattern disappears. Don't be alarmed by that. And then as I pull that sew head out, I can make it the size I want, and I would move my needle to the bottom right corner of the block and then say accept, and that pattern will fit right in that block. So that's the second way, and that's with the sew head. On that one, again, you have the choice of maintain ratio or not. So let's open it back up again, and we are going to do this one right here. Resize pattern, the dialog will open up. Maintain ratio is clicked, and it usually is selected because usually you want the pattern to maintain the ratio, but occasionally you don't. I'm going to say reset. This time I'm going to say keypad. Now when would you want to use the keypad? I use it quite frequently on edge-to-edge designs because I know the width of the area that I can stitch in, and I want to maximize that space for each row. So I'll make my pattern be, I'll decide whatever size it should be, 12 inches, 15 inches, or I have about 21 inches worth of sewing space. So if I make my pattern 6.5 inches, I can usually fit 3 rows into one pass, or if I make it half of 21, I can fit 2 rows, or I can make it really large and fill up that space. So sometimes I decide based on the height. So with my mouse, you click on height. Now notice again that the maintain ratio was there. Let's say my border, this is a border design, and my border is 6 inches, so I want this pattern to be 5 inches, which will leave ½ inch unquilted on both sides. That seems reasonable. So I select that and leave it, and if I want to leave the ratio the same, I leave it there and I say preview, and that's what it's going to look like. I can see if that's going to fit into my area, and then say accept if it works for me, or reset if it doesn't work for me. Let's say I don't want to maintain the ratio, and I know that my border is 40 inches wide, so maybe I decide I want 10 of them in that border. So I know I want, if it was 40, I want 10 of them. This is going to be 4 inches wide. So I click on this, Oops, I need to select keypad. Click on this. I say 4. I say OK. And this is going to be much taller than it is wide, so you'll see it will look odd. I'm going to preview that and say, oh no, that's not really what I was after. Maybe I need to make them shorter to work. So I can play with that as much as I like. That doesn't look good. We'll try something else. Maybe 3 inches looks better. There we go. That's a nice pattern. I'm going to use 10 of them to fill up my 40 inches. So preview, accept. There you go. I have my pattern and it's resized. That's this tutorial.